Well, good evening and welcome along to Moster Does the Crossword. This is Moster and it is Wednesday, August 4th. I will be discussing in various forms the New York Times crossword puzzle for Thursday, August 5th. There's a whole big thing in the episode description that takes you to a OneDrive. Eventually there will be a video or something that gives you the whole introduction about what it is that we're doing here. But in terms of this, I like this puzzle a lot. Some of it is where my brain is, I think, but there was a lot of neat stuff in here. A lot of interesting, the theme was nicely tricksy, and there were a couple of other clues that were kind of related to each other, and I like when they do that too. So that was all very nice, and a good solid Thursday. And yeah, so I'm gonna let everybody get to, if they so choose, either one of these two programs. Please be advised that if you are listening to the review, it is full of spoilers. It starts with a picture of the gold and goes right into an image or the actual puzzle itself, the solution. The puzzle itself, on the other hand, starts from the blank page. So that's about it for this intro. Thanks again for coming along, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, review take 2. Let this be your final warning that there are spoilers ahead. I like this one. There was a lot here. We'll get into the screenshots in a couple of minutes. I'm not in the best headspace, whatever, it's the end of the night. Although I do these at the end of the night every night, so that's kind of a weird thing to use as a so-called excuse. But yeah, I like this theme. It was a good theme. The mermaid and the centaur thing, and then this before the bottom half, etc., etc. And it was really, I don't know, it didn't fully click. I was not following the instruction. I got 58 across for Beats a Dead Horse fairly quickly before the bottom half of a 42 down, which is a centaur, so that's a horse. Keeps arguing after something has been decided, which arguably is something that happened to me today, but that's not for this particular forum. So anyway, I like this theme. I thought it was good. I like all of these, even though, again, I was not using that word, but really not all the way there. Manhole covers, drink like a fish. It's not that fucking complicated. Woman of the world, or lady of the world, I suppose, depending on how you look at it. But anyway, there were still a few other things. If we go back to the screenshots, yeah, Orleans, and I think in 15 across, this is why I have this screenshot up. I got opera in 15 across, and they're really good about actually I don't want to say it like that, but there's a lot of people who have a lot of jokes about the number of Grammy categories that there are and how ridiculous that all ends up being. But there were still, to continue going through here for specific stuff, I liked Howl in 5 down. This one threw me a little bit for Cry of Pain or Laughter. I kept thinking it was going to be something weird in text speech, but it's fairly straightforward. Pole Worker, I like this one. Elf for 2 down. That was a cute one. Just, yeah, because I couldn't figure it out. I thought it was an election worker or something like that. And that's the whole point, right? Similarly, his murder elicited the first wail of mourning. Abel, okay, for 20 across, that makes perfect sense. And being not nearly as much of an anti-theist as I used to be, but still actively ignorant of a lot of things. Although I think there's something else in this Is it in here, or is it maybe it was something that I answered yelling at the screen while I was watching another trivia thing before? But I feel like there's something else recently where I drew on Bible knowledge. Anyway, yeah, that's manhole covers. Kind of talked about these four, so I'm not going to spend a lot more time. 45 across manhole covers. And then Oahu. I like this one too for 64. This is another one where if I were, I don't know, I kind of want to say if I were feeling a little bit more cynical, I would have gotten it sooner. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense and it's pretty, and good job for Hawaii. I don't know why there are two pictures of this. So yes, what is it? 63 Japanese automaker Isuzu. This is a good one too because there are so many 5-letter Japanese car makers, and I was really having difficulty with what I was putting in those themes and the downs in the beginning. There's an old brain teaser from something that is, if you take one Japanese car manufacturer, add one letter and scramble them, you get another one, and it's Isuzu and Suzuki, in case you were wondering. If you ever hear that old episode of Car Talk, you can impress your friends. Where you might search for a lead, IMDb, again, 55 across. I like this one. It's right where it should be. Especially they put the question mark in there. Although, since Amazon now owns IMDb and they definitely do things to tweak the information that you see, I recommend going to the less comprehensive areas of the interwebs, such as the Movie DB or Gasp of Gasps Wikipedia, or I'm sure there are others that I just don't fucking know about. So yeah, here again, 7 down. This is Mermaid, Hybrid Creature of Myth. Kind of talked about these before, but the top one is Mermaid and the bottom one is Centaur, so that's 7 and 42. This one I liked. This one gave me a little bit of a mist. A host of answers for Trebek for 11 down. Yeah. And again with a question mark. Oh good, I'm glad now that whatever the fuck I thought was acai is not acai. Oh, lion. Ha. But anyway, we'll get back there I'm sure in a bit. Pizza. Pizza. Yes, very cute. Reminds me of another comedy bit, which we don't need to talk about right now. And yeah, the son and Tess of the Dubervilles, Alec. I'm putting this here for me to say it to myself as much as anything else. This is 24 down because I never watched it, and there's just so much fucking TV these days. And initials in AMTV, GMA. That's Good Morning America. This is one that not everybody would necessarily be familiar with, and I think that my biggest knowledge of it comes from watching The Soup as much as anything else. So yeah, GMA, 51 down for Good Morning America, which is apparently hosted by a bunch of drunk people now. Excuse me again. Let's Hear for Sounds Like a Plan in 39? Yes. I like that one too. And also it's just worth, because it's like, shall we? Let's. So it's kind of, you might want to put something like Me Too or I Agree, but none of that fits. Or you think about doing something weird with I, but that's what it ends up being. I like this one too for 3 down. Cool at Lovebirds, Get a Room. Very nice. And Ash Can, which is wrong. So we shouldn't really talk about it. What did it end up being? Ash Bin or something? Yeah, which I'd never really heard of before. Where is it? This is silly of me. Yeah, this is not going to be the most tight, and it's already take 2. Anyway, we talked about Ash Can, which is really Ash Bin. Live Well, Sloganeer, GNC. They're the people that make the vitamin supplements and stuff like that. That's one of those ones that just stuck in my brain. Ooh, Icy Remark, Burr. Yeah, that was a cute one. And then here again. Oh, so Icy Remark was 23 across. And then 32 across. That in España. I have ESA. It ends up being SO. It's another one of these ones where I feel like they could just do whatever the fuck they want with it. This next one here, 10 across, Miss Otis Regrets, is a jazz standard, and I was just listening to, or watching actually, something where they talked about that song. It's a British trivia show called Pointless, which talks about obscure answers. There's a lot of British, but the stuff that isn't is actually really interesting, and you learn trivia. Like I learned the capital of the UAE and Qatar are Doha, and something that I've already forgotten, but it's enough that it's sitting around in my brain that it'll come out eventually when I need it. And the last thing that I called out here was draft picks ales. This is another one that's a pretty common association. Something like this, draft an ale or pub or pull in a pub or anything like that. Another thing that I did want to talk about is bucolic. Because bucolic, this is one that's more from, I don't know how much it is for me and anybody else, but bucolic, to me, it doesn't sound nice. It sounds, for whatever reason, it has some association, like the way I instinctually dissect the word, it turns into something meaning disgusting, when the actual answer is, like a pasture land. So you've got the bucolic call is ba, and then somewhere else, that's 26 across, by the way, if you're not watching. And then somewhere else is you. Yes, here, 35 down. Bucolic beasts are ewes. So yeah, I think that's about it for this one. Again, I think it was a good one. There's a lot of cute little things to trip you up. A nice Thursday before you start rolling through into Friday and Saturday with no theme. And then the stretched out stress that is a Sunday. So I will leave it here. Thank you all for listening. And we are at the point now where if you'd like to like or subscribe or comment, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. Because I'm doing this and I want people to enjoy it. It's all about my vanity, but I still want people to enjoy it. So I will leave it there. Thank you again for coming along on this journey, and have a lovely time whenever you are listening.